everyone, and welcome to the second season of the Milky for Youth podcast. My name is Orindi. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Vilda and Batha. And so I'd like to briefly tell them to say hi to the audience. Batha, you can go first.
Hi, everyone. Excited to have you again and looking forward to today's conversation.
Thank you, Batha. Vilda?
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us once again and looking forward to a nice session.
Thank you. So in this season 2 of the podcast, what you're going to be doing is telling impact stories of the Milkway program. And just a reminder, the Milkway program seeks to break barriers in accessing sexual and reproductive health and rights by applying an intersectional lens. And so the Milkway program has the following context. We have Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Zambia, and regional and global. And so we're going to be telling impact stories from all of this. And so our guests today are from Kenya. And so I want to invite Angie, Kioko, and Sylvester to introduce themselves and share what they do for work as we start the conversation. So we can start with you, Angie.
Thank you, Orindi, and the rest of your team for having me here today. My name is Angela Maitha Kioko, a young person from Kenya, Nakuru County. I work with the Milkway program as a collaborating partner under the Circle of Concerned Women Theologians with an organization called Black Coffee Network. It's a youth-led, youth-managed organization that does advocacy on SRHR, meaningful youth engagement in decision-making spheres, as well as general advocacy and youth matters. We also do a lot of advocacy on governance and accountability. And in regard to Milkway, we do advocacy on our health financing. Thank you very much. And I'm really happy to be here with you guys today.
Thank you, Angie. Such a powerhouse. Sylvester, over to you.
Thank you very much, Randy. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sylvester Otieno, Adhaya from Kenya, Kisumu. I come from St. Francis Oriang Development Program. That is a collaborating partner under Cheshire Disability Services Kenya under Milkway program. I'm a youth advocate and also a youth champion. Under St. Francis, we also do lobby and advocacy, sexual and reproductive health and rights, focusing on 3 thematic areas, that is policies, budget, and services. Thank you. Nice to have me here.
Thank you, Sylvester. So we have a powerhouse of young SRHR leaders. And so I'm going to ask you the first question. So when you look back in the years or the time that you've been at the Milkway program or running programs or being part of programs in Milkway, how have you changed, maybe personally or professionally? And if you can share, like, for example, a defining moment that made you realize the impact of this program on your life, for instance. We can start with you, Angie.
Thank you, Arindi. So I think for Milkway, there's a lot of development and change that I have been able to witness as an individual and also as the organization that I work for and I lead. And I think the first one is just self-development in terms of understanding SRHR in depth and also integrating the aspect of intersectionality in the work that we do. I think having that approach of intersectionality, even when we do advocacy on governance, general governance issues, not SRHR, I think the impact is able to be well felt with the marginalized group using that approach. So for me, that approach was a game changer. I was able to integrate it in my project design and project implementation generally. I think my capacity also as an SRHR advocate has been built in so many avenues. Because when you're talking about Milkway, the first year there was a lot of capacity building from different coordinating partners, and each one of us was capacity building us according to their niche. So we had a lot of capacity building in terms of legal frameworks, understanding legal frameworks better through AMWA. We had a deeper understanding of budget advocacy through FAWE. We had VSO coming in with inclusivity, disability inclusion. So integrating all these new aspects that I was being taught really was a game changer for me as a young advocate. And I think also for an organization, we're able to see a lot of, because once we started, we did the OCA and we were able to identify gaps within our organization, which I think the circle has been able to work with us as a youth-led organization for the last 4 years to be able to bridge those gaps and I use Makeway program to be able to handle that. So I think a lot of defining moments have been there for me as a programs manager who runs the implementation of the Makeway project in our organization. And for me, when I realized things have really changed is when other organizations doing SRHR started reaching out to our organization to explore avenues of collaboration, started reaching out to me personally for facilitation, for moderating SRHR youth-led events, for emceeing SRHR youth-led events, even the county government sending a letter to Black Coffee Network, inviting them for the launch of the CADP because they've been very integral in terms of advocating for government reforms, policy, and budgets. So even that recognition by our local government to give us a space during that important event that they were doing and in collaboration with other organizations, that for me those were some of the defining moments that I was able to witness. But I would say Makeway really helped me develop my skills as a young SRHR advocate, and that has also given me the platform to disseminate these skills and knowledge to other young people in my community, especially the marginalized people that I served from the informal settlement called Hilton that I am a big champion of. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Angie. As I move on to Sylvester, I must share that some of what you have shared obviously resonates with me, especially around self-development and capacity building by Makeway around SRHR. That's also a journey I think myself, Builder, and Bertha can also relate to. Sylvester, over to you. How have you grown professionally, personally, as you've been through this program?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Warindi. I think I will just add other insights on whatever Angie has said, because Makeway was really trying to have a harmonious way of doing its advocacy. So we may share a lot, but some of the outstanding moments that I can maybe say has brought some light at the end of the tunnel is about the youth-centric focus. That is, Makeway is more youth-centric approach. They give the power to the youth. They give them space to make decisions. And they are not just decisions that maybe you make and they're not being implemented. Most organizations previously, even if youths were being given representations, but they were just more of not so influencing your representation, but influence and power were being deprived. And this was a different perspective of Makeway program when it gave a lot of power and space for the youths who are involved in the process, the youths in their diversities, so that they can be able to make decisions on issues that affect their life directly concerning SRHR. They can come with solutions and they can guide the implementation. So I think this has been a great insight that has brought a lot of change in terms of perception of the youths in the community, in terms of the power, the strength of the youths, what they are capable of doing, and the belief that the youths can do wonderful things once you've just given them chance. I also take into consideration the aspect of the change in perceptions, that is in terms of attitude, in terms of health-seeking behavior, that is now specifically in the Kisumu context. I think generally, since the inception of the Makeway program, there's been change when it comes to our attitude towards the duty bearers, especially the health service providers. It has changed. We've been able to have a different view. Like, they are also just people like us. We can sit down and converse with them. Previously, we were like, these people, they do not listen to us, they don't give us space. But now we had a chance to sit down and also just try and brainstorm from their side and also from our side. In terms of my leadership skills, I have grown seriously, and I can say that right now I am able to lead various communities in their diversities. I am able to initiate different programs, different efforts, and make sure that I manage them successfully up to the end. Defining moment for me is the successful rollout of the ICSC, that is the Intersectional Community Scorecard, that has brought immense great achievements in my community, if not from various health facilities that we now have youth-friendly services, disability-friendly services, and that the youths also feel they own the community activities. Through this tool, there has been some light in the community. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Sylvester and Angie, for sharing. Indeed, that was really insightful. And as you are speaking, I'm just in that moment reflecting on how this has been like a changing moment for all of us, not just you, but also maybe I can say myself to be part of this discussion. And I really appreciate your insights. So, a number of things were coming up. For example, you talked about the intersectionality aspect of it. Many times I heard about the capacity building, which also applies to us, and also something about autonomy, if I may not speak of all the things that you spoke about. And I really appreciate and I really recognize that that is really great. And also, you talked about leadership. Oh, no, let me not forget about that. So, as we move forward, I just wanted to shift our focus a bit to real life challenges. As we talk of success, as we talk about the good things that we are really sharing, I know there are also times when people do face challenges. So, just to ask, are there any of challenges or barriers in accessing SRHR? And if there are, how have you overcome them? And then, having Meko in question, did it really play a role in helping you overcome these barriers if they really exist? So I'll start with Sylvester. I'll really love to hear your part of the story. And then Angie, of course. Thank you, Sylvester.
Thank you so much, Vilda. That's a very interesting question. And yes, as much as Mekwe has also have some good side, there has also been challenges, especially during the implementation phase. And I think these challenges cuts across both from the community and also the program side. One of them that I really can certainly say is about the gaps, especially in comprehensive policies. You find that there are different policies with different context. You go to the school setup, the education curriculum has their own policies that do not try, not really to allow the content of SRHR to be implemented in schools. These learners in schools are the ones in the community. So when they come with this, they tend to shrink from SRHR knowledge. You go to church has its own policies. For us, the Catholic, we do not even want to talk about the contraceptives. I am a Catholic, now you bring me in the community. I'll be like, do I choose my church or I choose whatever you're bringing to me? Also, you go to health sector. They also say they have some policies that limit them from maybe giving some services or offering some services that we may need. So this gaps has made it so hard to at least have a harmonious or a common understanding towards addressing this dragon of SRHR challenges within our community. Another challenge is also the cultural and conflicting beliefs. You find that in various communities, matters around SRHR are very sensitive matters, and we are not ready to come out and discuss them in a broad daylight. We try to just talk about them in a shallow way, but in real sense, they affect us. So the feeling of like these are things that we should not really discuss in an open daytime has really been deeply rooted in most of our communities. So then, as much as yes, Mekwe has done a lot, especially in demystifying this, and I really acknowledge this. But then you find that at the inception point, this was a real challenge, and trying to convince such community members was a challenge. Another issue is also bureaucracies, especially when it comes to various uh, government offices and departments. Find there are a lot of bureaucracies, especially when it comes to SRHR. We are advocating daily that can we prioritize SRHR in our budgeting, but you find that most of the county governments, even at the national level, it has been there kind of back and forth, especially in trying to prioritize a comprehensive budget that that may cater for all the SRHR services and commodities. So all this makes it at least kind of a little bit hard, as much as people are advocating, but then it makes it slow. It slows the process of making sure that we realize this holistically. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvester. Angie, any barriers in SRHR from your end and how you overcame them?
Yeah, so there have been several challenges, and I think Sylvester has spoken about the social ones that we mainly encounter, which is just the general perception on SRHR, especially at the community level with the religious leaders and even young people who are in the religious space. Their perception has been a barrier because there's the issue of profiling. You're the one who wants to talk about LGBTQ, you're the one who wants to talk about this. So the issue of profiling becomes an issue. But now I'll just focus my conversation on the aspect of goodwill from the county government and the national government when it comes to implementing SRHR budgets and policies. And I'll just use a case example of Nakuru. When we started Make Way during that first financial year, there was work that had been done, which we were complementing now with the Make Way program. And these conversations were on having a budget line for RAMCA. That is just a budget line that speaks to SRHR matters. When you're talking about maternal care, you're talking about child, you're talking about immunization, and you're talking about even the access to the commodities and the services themselves and the information dissemination. So we have Nakuru County setting aside 1.3 million. And you wonder, out of all the 55 wards, where are we going to start with this 1.3 million? So it was a win at the onset, because for the longest time, because of the cultural barriers, even the cultural biases that the policymakers have themselves, were acting as an impediment when it comes to setting aside the RAMCA budget. So it was a win for us, because for the first time we got a budget line. So when you got the budget line for 1.35 million, and the next financial year, we got a budget line which had increased with 500,000, 1.75 million. But when we had some deliberations with our RH coordinator at the county level, she told us that the directorate has not been able to expend that money. Why? Because they lack a requisition framework. So you look at the challenges that are there. First of all, we do not have a requisition framework to ask for this money. So this money goes back to the department and it's deviated into other uses.
Wow, that's quite interesting, Angela. Thank you for sharing that. I could relate 100% when you talked about the RAMCAN and the implementation challenges that it comes with. Unfortunately, that's almost the same picture in the Zambian context, and we sort of like come up with strategic documents and expect that a community of donors is going to come and help us implement that, which really is a very sad scenario. And these challenges overall, what you shared, what Sylvester shared, really serves as a reminder of the work that lies ahead for us and how we need to put efforts together to change the current narrative. So we're just curious, Angie and Sylvester, if you have any specific stories where you saw that the Make Way program was making a difference in your life or in somebody's life that you directly worked with. And if any, what kind of skills did you get in the process, or the kind of knowledge that you've gained that has enabled you to work or respond better to some challenges like you have mentioned above? Maybe we can start with Sylvester.
Okay. Thank you so much. I will just mention there's so many skills and knowledge gain, but some of them I have mentioned in my previous discussions. One of it is Meko has come with the concept of operationalization of the intersectionality concept, which is not a new concept, but has been kind of in shadow form for quite some time. So at least I know when I'm in a community, how do I deal with this community X, community Y, which are various diverging issues that I should put into place. And as I also said that from my organization, we do advocacy on budget, on services and policies. So therefore, I have gained a lot of insights when it comes to issues around policies, formulations, implementation, and how just to initiate policies, bills, and just maybe to make sure that the bills and the policies are as comprehensive and tailored towards diverse needs of various people in the community. Also, when it comes to the aspect of social accountability, that is accountability aspect, Angel has talked about the intersectional CJudge and Act. I will talk about intersectional community scorecard. I will talk about the intersectional budget policy analysis. I will talk about the intersectionality 101, key messaging, and all those. So you find these are tools that are very much important when you're talking about accountability issues. Then are you able to hold you to bearers accountable in various facilities, in various leadership positions? The last one I will talk about leadership. Right now, I am a leader. I am able to lead, and I lead by giving youth space. I lead by giving them chance to at least implement issues affecting them in a youth-centric manner. Thank you.
Wow, that's very inspiring, Sylvester. A very powerful statement you made that you're a leader, and now you're showing up to represent the interests of the young people. That's very interesting to note that you got such skill sets from the program. Angela, would you share some experience and skill sets that you got from the Makeway program overall?
Yes, Becca, sure. So there was the issue of the specific story that that you see in this program make a difference in your life or someone else. So there's something that I'd like to share in regard to that. So there's a youth group that we've been working with from the informal settlement called Kioko. It's an informal settlement that has a big dam site, and those youth really are the definition of marginalized youth who are left out. So when Makeway started, we consolidated them and we started working with them, and we taught them on the process of budget making, and they've been going to support SRHR budgets, submitting memorandums. And in that process, during the process of advocating for an increased budget on SRHR and RAMCA, they were able to find more opportunities that speak to economic empowerment of young people. And our member of county assembly at the local level was able to take them through the process of registration. They officially registered the youth group with the social services, and they've been beneficiaries of economic empowerment for 3 consecutive financial years. And we've actually been able to see their lives change. Some of them that were using drugs, we've been able to see them get rehabilitated. So for me, that's such a big win that Meko instigated. In as much as they were advocating for their health rights, they were able to also get other aspects and other forms of entitlements, the other rights that they possess. So for me, that was a game changer. And one other thing that we were able to do through the Makeway program was actually operationalize a youth-friendly center that has not been operational for more than 6 years. So we petitioned the county assembly, and we got summoned by the speaker of the county assembly. We got summoned by the health committee. Actually acknowledged our petition, and right now on how young people of that area can be incorporated in operationalizing that youth-friendly center. So for me, these were big systemic barriers that the Makeway program was able to solve, and they really stand out for me as a program manager and implementer of the Makeway project. But on the issue of skills, there are a lot of skills that I've been able to learn and gain being part of the Makeway program. The first one would be like facilitation skills generally. When I started Makeway, I never used to take facilitation the way I take it right now. I've been able to grow my confidence, my communication skills, how I talk to people. I'm able to articulate issues well. And even when you go to the public participations in the budget forums, that articulation of issues has been able to play out really well, that the issues of young people have been captured and get budgeted for in the budgets. So a lot of skills. I've also learned a lot on advocacy in general, or even advocacy at the regional and global level that came about as a result of the MECWE program. So I think I've been able to learn so much and directly impact lives of marginalized young people. Thank you.
Wow, that's so inspiring to hear. You made a youth-friendly space that has been dormant for quite a number of years to be operational. I can only imagine how many young people have gotten to benefit from such acts, and such a very inspiring stories for you to share. I was wondering, with the whole conversation around youth-friendly spaces, and this goes to both you, Angela, and Sylvester, have you ever had to mentor or help others because of what you've learned, the skills you just shared with us not long ago? And how do you see yourself going forward in the future, even beyond the MECWE? How do you see yourself utilizing the skills that you gained, the experiences that you gained, to ensure that we collectively amplify access and the uptake of sexual reproductive health and rights services?
Yes, of course. As an individual, I've been able to mentor other young people, and as an organization, we've also been able to mentor a lot. We have a team of budget champions that we've trained them through cohorts. We have a team of community champions. They're called accountability champions. We've trained them on the budget making process. We've trained them on how to meaningfully participate. We've trained them on writing of memos, developing of memos and petitions. And I think we've really mentored them to claim their rights on their own. We just wanted to prick their consciousness and open their eyes and just hold their hands. And I think right now that we are ending towards the close of the program, I can confidently say that this movement can be able to sustain itself even beyond the project, and they can be able to continue advocating for their health rights and SRHR rights through their needs being incorporated in the budget making process, both at the county and the national level. So we have definitely mentored a lot of young people, including the youth group that I mentioned, that now have a project on economic empowerment that was as a result of an intended outcome that came with MECWE. How do I see myself using what I've gained in this program in the future? Hey, I'll tell you this, I do active politics. Actually, MECWE has been able to grow my confidence, grow my understanding of issues, and helped me to conduct research. And in 2027, I'm vying for a political seat as a member of parliament in Nakuru Town West in my constituency.
Yeah.
As I look at myself taking these issues, policy issues, even to parliament, tabling bills on SRHR, continuously even strengthening public and private partnerships, even when I'm a member of parliament, to even bring more development partners on board, to continue pushing the SRHR agenda in our communities, and lobby and initiate bills myself and sponsor bills when I'm at the national parliament.
Wow, that is so great, Angie. And yeah, we call her the Gen Z politician. So all the best, Angie. And we look forward to seeing you implementing what you're implementing right now as you become the next MP. So Sylvester, will you kindly in just a 1 minute share, maybe if you have the same story in regards to mentorship also?
Okay, thank you, Vilda, for 1 minute. Okay, I will just share in general, and I will share by quoting the words of Njuguna Ndung'u, one of the supreme judges in Kenya, High Court judges, and he said that laws are a very powerful tool to change the world. So personally, from Kisumu, we are changing the world by focusing on policies. Policies affect more than 10 million people. We are focusing on bills. We are focusing on frameworks to make sure that at the end of the day, these effects are not just for today, but they will be remembered. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Angie, and thank you so much, Sylvester, for coming on our podcast and sharing your stories of impact. So what I'm gonna tell you is just keep doing the amazing work you're doing in your communities. It's very impactful. It makes me so proud. It makes me feel like I want to go back, and do, community work or regional work there. And as always, thank you so much to Vilda and Bertha for being amazing co-hosts. And to our audience, obviously, thank you for listening and supporting our podcast since season 1, and now we are in season 2. And please catch us on our next episode, where we're going to be talking to 2 amazing young people from Zambia as well, interviewing them on the series of impact. As a reminder, you can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. That's all from us. Goodbye.